on Black Stars of Ghana tomorrow and on ball against Chad 2026 World Cup qualifiers. Now legendary Michael Essien ono so ba bedin komo about Black Stars of Ghana na time with Black Stars so failure so obeko AFCON and 2026 World Cup qualifiers a chese nyame buachi na omo ne Chad ebebo no Michael Essien ekodin komo ewo Sporty FM na ne ensam de wa drop more. Now to begin with the question any ebusa ne say Black Stars of Ghana entimi anko AFCON nankasa na no oka asembei ene de afa ho ono na asem ye simple or see a movie on
time in the Black Stars, for example. Black Stars are playing this weekend against Chad. First of all, were you surprised that we couldn't make it to AFCON?
I mean, yes, and I would say so, but then again, I know there's a whole lot going on at the moment with the Black Stars and stuff like that, but it was sad, but I mean, we have to move on. We have to move on. It's happening. Sometimes maybe it's better you don't qualify to go and add up to
the numbers.
To the numbers, or you qualify to go and compete. So yeah, but we have to move on. So hopefully.
Somebody said this before, and I keep asking all these legends that. It's easy for you guys. Is it easy for you guys to move on after losing games? Unlike, for some of the supporters or the fans who will be brooding over difficult times and all that for a long while. You guys seem to be moving on so quickly.
We have to, but it's hard at the time, but you have to move on because you have a next game ahead. So it's not easy for us to move on. But we have to, of course, look ahead to the next game coming. So we have to leave that behind because, I mean, the game is finished. It's finished. You have another game to redeem yourself or to go out there and win. So you have to leave the past behind and move on. And that's the life of. That's life in general. If you look at it that way, but that's also the life of a footballer. You always have the next game.
So you always have to look forward rather than think of what has happened in the past.
Yes.
With the Black Stars, I mean, what were your most enjoyable moments with the Black Stars?
Oof, that's a lot. I mean, I had a really good time with the Black Stars. I played with some great players and so on. And I think the 2008 AFCON we hosted here was one of a special one to me.
2008 AFCON. What about the World Cup in 2006 when we qualified for the first time?
Yeah, that's also there. I even forgot about
that. What was it about? What was it about you and? Because I understand that, and I witnessed a couple of them, that most of the time your roommate was Suleiman Tari. Anytime you were at the Black Stars camp, the two of you always hanged out together. He says one is diabolic, one is. but with your time in the Black Stars, I mean, what was this thing about you, Sule, Capitano, Laye, Antonianan? What was it about you guys that you understood so much that at a point you guys were regarded as one of the best midfielders in the world?
That's a good one. But I think those times we've known each other since we were very, very young, and most of us went through the youth age groups, so we kind of or know each other very well and how each other plays. So I mean, so I think that's why we were so connected. And when you look at it, Steven Tornado was our senior. Next was Lai, but they all come down to our level. Like, okay, we're all the same. So, and when you have leaders like that, behaving like that, it kind of gives you even more confidence to go out and help them to to achieve something.
It was great. The quartet you guys had was something else. You were just unbeatable at that time. But does it hurt you that in that illustrious career that you had with the Black Stars,
so Mike Essien as at was so Edin Komo still on a Black Stars of Ghana and a time with Black Stars just a World Cup qualifiers or Mukoye just a World Cup or Mutimiko PM AFCON Mutimikoye Nina Wedi Hunkomo
won a trophy.
Yes, because we were so lucky. As you said, the canoe, we were so lucky. We got so close, but it didn't happen. So I mean, we could have loved to win something for the nation, but it didn't happen. So we have to move on.
What would you have done differently if you had the opportunity now?
But nothing. I just go out there and play my football, and do the best I can to win games.
What's the difficulty? Sometimes Ghanaians. This is a case of sometimes Ghanaians didn't understand the dynamics of playing in Europe and playing for the Black Stars, and therefore thought at some point that you were not too committed for the Black Stars at some point.
You know what? People are always going to have the opinions and stuff like that. They don't know what goes on, behind closed doors. But there's a lot that goes on. I'm not going to sit here and and say everything. But I mean, you have your opinion. It's okay. It's fine. But I mean, don't insult me. That's what that's what a lot of them intend to do. But I mean. So it got to a point you also have to look back and look after yourself, because at the end of the day you're the legs that kind of feed you. So sometimes you have to also think about that.
When Ghanaians are they're not happy with you and they're insulting you guys and all of that, how do you guys take it?
I mean, you can't please everyone. So you have to always look at the positive side. You always look forward and look. I always find a way to to stay positive and to be positive in every situation, and that's the sort of person I am, and I'm very calm to that. And guess what? After a few years, the same people who are insulting us are calling us legends.
Yeah. So it means they didn't really mean it. I mean, it's like they love you, they want the good things.
So that now you can say, okay, whatever you are doing now, make sure you give your best. They might insult you, but along the line, a few years later, you'll be one of them.
Who do you think filled your shoes when you left the Black Stars? Between Antoniana and Ajman Bedu?
I think they both did well. I've known Anthony since secondary school days. Ajingo came in. I think they both, did their best, and they both represent the nation as they're supposed to.
Do you see Black Stars winning any trophy anytime soon?
I think so. It just have to happen. When is that going to happen? I don't know, but I'm sure it'll happen at some point.
Because the last time we won an African Cup, it was 1982. You were not born then.
That was a long time.
You were not born then. 1982.
Long time,
yeah.
We'll get there.
We'll get someday.
I believe. I believe we'll get there.
With the crop of players we have now, you think that because you see, one of the things a lot of people really do sometimes is they do a lot of comparisons, player for player, strength for strength, talent for talent, and everybody still feels that your squad will be difficult to get again.
I know what you mean, but that's why I hate comparisons, because everyone is different and everyone have their way of playing football. So for me, it makes no sense in a way. You have to compare, someone to, you have to compare people. But as you said, people just, I don't know, maybe it's boredom or something. They just want to have a talk. But I mean, these things are always going to be there. But you just have to, keep supporting the team, because I think this is a time that the Black Stars need the nation support more than anything else. So I think they should be behind the team and support them and stay positive and hopefully.
You think we can dismiss Chad on Friday?
Yes, we can, but we need to prepare ourselves because and sometimes I hate when people say Black Star couldn't beat Sudan, Black Star couldn't beat Libya. That's so disrespectful because you have to respect your opponent and you've been in the game, you know the game. The underdogs, when they are going to play against the kind of the favorite, they have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So they give their best. It's up to you, the favorite one, to overcome that. Because if they lose, okay, they know they're going to lose.
Yeah.
But if they win, it's a big thing. So yeah.
What do you think that countries like Morocco are doing so well that we are not?
I don't know. Maybe because of the way they are treating the players, or maybe how the players are performing in their various clubs and stuff like that. Because that plays a big role in when you come to the national team. So.
Mike Essien still and some more and or they air to ja. Just a time with Black Stars, the truth behind it, and near my ACC were chile na me am out. Black Stars of Ghana World Cup qualifiers, Omba qualifier, and a Salmon qualifier. Mike Essien, Edin Como.
Maybe I don't know what they are doing, but maybe they are doing something good and monitoring their players and checking up on them because nowadays football is all about stats and stuff like that, and see how they are doing and physically, technically, and everything. So yeah.
Did you get a lot of support during your time with the national team from the FA, the government? Did you get a lot of support, especially during times when you got injured?
I think that's what I said. I'm not the type that will come and complain. They could have done better, but it's what it is. I look back, I don't regret anything. At some point I have to take decision for myself, which a lot of people, the nation or the fans, they really understand. But at the end of the day, life goes on. We have moved on, and so I'm not gonna sit here and complain and point fingers and
Sometimes we you hear a lot of people and some comments that comes like the way we treat our players. One very big legend was speaking to me last week, and he said to me that almost every captain that leaves the Black Stars leaves out of bitterness, or some good players in the Black Stars leave out of bitterness, and things that have happened to them in the national team. He gave me an example of Abedi Pele leaving in 1998 out of bitterness. Even with our captain Baby Jet also leaving out of bitterness. If you listen to how Dede Ayew is also going through out of bitterness, and at a point Sule Muntari also left the Black Stars out of bitterness. So there's a lot of most of our players. You think that the way we treat our players is the best way? Because you have been on the receiving end of the treatment, so you'll be able to tell.
Yes, but as I said earlier, I always find a way to think positive, to take positive side of every situation, and everyone is different. Yeah, maybe the way they treat them is not good, but for me, I will not look back and say, I left with bitterness in me. But everyone is different, and also sometimes I think sometimes a lot comes from the fans. The way they talk about the players and stuff like that, and even then they start rumors, and this one is not nice with this one don't like this one. Then it goes to these players' heads, it feeds their egos, and then they start parting ways with each other, which is not good, because I mean, there's always a way that you can sit and talk with your teammate. When I joined the Blaster, I had that with Ronaldo. He was our captain, and people start, saying all these sort of rumors between me and him. But we call each other on the phone and we talk about it. And we have the same guys that will talk behind us. This same guy will talk behind me, and he'll go to Steven and say the same thing. So I'll just pick up the phone, call him up and say, hey, this is what this guy said. And he came to say the same thing. But but others, it will feed their egos, and then they start, like, okay, I told him he's my friend, then they start distancing themselves from each other, which I think is wrong. But
you've been following our football and our league as well. Do you?
The Ghana league, no, because I don't really get to watch it outside. But recently, there's something that I've heard about one Kotoko fan.
Who lost his life.
So I've heard that a few times, and I think it's quite sad and it's quite wrong, and they need to do more to
protect the teams,
and especially the fans.
Yeah. You were in 2014 in Brazil.
Yes.
You were there when the slapping happened. You were there when the slapping happened, right? Now, you know, at some point, some people also mentioned your name in that slapping episode.
Yeah, I don't know why. My name came up.
No, they say, you are like, you stay behind. You're not the one who creates the problem, but you create a small problem, and then
I didn't create anything. I was at that meeting. Trust me, at that meeting, I was like, I'm fed up. We're having the same meeting over and over again, so I'm not going. So I didn't go. At the beginning of the meeting, I was in my room, and then I remember it was the day and Ajiman Bedu, who came to come and said, Michael, come, because I think at the time I was the only senior player, one of the senior players in the. So I went, and this whole thing happened, and I was like, I was still sitting there. I couldn't move because I was numb. I didn't know what was going on. Like, But it's funny. I was the only one who could stop Sule.
Yeah.
Who could stop him? Who could calm him down?
That's why people mentioned your name.
It's any summer a year Blasters, a year legendary, a year Michael Essien or the two about the Blasters of Ghana. Aha, Dowona TV. Comment section.